Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. All right. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say. Okay. All right. This is my fun reading of the night. This is my last one. And so I always kind of get to enjoy myself when I know my treat after this is going to be getting ready and going to bed. All right, so we have the 10 of Swords tonight. This is related to Rune. But don't be upset. We'll figure this out. We're going to figure it out together. All right. And so this card, it can be related to departure, disruption, interference, an abrupt end. Okay, and so it's kind of I want to start. What I was really looking at when we're starting here is that we kind of have this person right here. It looks like they're wearing maybe a dress or a robe. They're kind of throwing something. And then we have what looks like maybe a little child on the back of a goat. Okay, so kind of almost looks like a farm scene. This one looks almost like a goose, okay? But what I do think is, looking at this, there's a feeling of having your life kind of set up in such a way that you have wanted, that you have dreamt of, that you have kind of worked for. No, get down. Go on. Get out of here, mister. These cats, I'm sorry. If you watch my channel, you will know that I have two cats that like to visit, but they are kind of off limits right now because the one with hair, although we brush him, he is shedding a lot because it's so hot. So, and he's very hairy. He's a big boy. He's quite a large cat. So I've been trying to keep him off of here. I would love for him to come visit, but when he gets up here, the hair gets all over, and it gets on everything. And I know this is gross, but it gets in my mouth a little bit sometimes, and that really kind of ruins the whole situation for me. So anyways, the farm. Okay, now in my mind, this kind of is like building your homestead, building the place that you want to put down roots. You know, maybe have family there. You are doing the things that you want to do, raising, and this isn't literal. I mean, it could be, but it could also be that this is kind of, you know, just your idea of getting your life, you know, acquainted in the way that you have always wanted it to. And you have really made so much progress doing this. Now, that being said, with this rune card kind of coming up, this makes me think that there are kind of, and this is because of the throwing away, I feel that there are kind of old and transient emotions and longings that are coming up. Okay, and a lot of us do this, right? We work so hard. We, you know, stay the course, get our little thing built up, achieve the goals that we have set, and then we get there and we start to lament old things, old loves, old desires, old, failings, things that happened many years ago, okay, or whatever, whenever they happened. And so I think that there's kind of this feeling of there's lingering fallout from an old bond that you had. And I think that it wasn't any kind of terrible parting, only that it was strained by kind of life circumstances. There was kind of maybe an inability to communicate clearly. And that happens, right? Where two people want the same thing, but you just can't figure out how to talk to one another, or there's this kind of trade-off of one person being willing to be vulnerable and open, the other person cannot get on that level, and then it switches where the other, then the other person kind of gets real guarded, and now it's the turn of the other to be more vulnerable, and you just can't get on the same time schedule. And so whatever extra circumstances are happening, things start to kind of just fall apart. Okay. And so I think that this almost feels like it could be like a first love or a very intense love, a beloved, okay? And you have moved on in your life, you have gotten older, maybe you have another family now, maybe married, children, grandchildren, whatever it is, but you still are in this place where it's like trying to throw out those old things. And it's, it just has never really happened. You carry them with you. And not just the parts that, are sometimes, it's funny how time goes on, you only remember the good things. Well, I don't think that this is the case here. I think that there's still just a lot of hurt. There's even a sense of grieving still happening. Okay. And although you have these kind of almost idyllic things happening, and that's, with the child on the goat, and this is a sign of something playful and profound happening, a harmony in your home, in the place that you have built. And then the goose, abundance. There are resources here. Okay. And up here, I have a person standing, and then kind of leaning on this person is another person. Kind of what you would think of like, a couple kind of cuddling together. And then this person is holding what looks like a shield. Okay. So I feel like you're very guarded, especially within romantic relationships, domestic relationships, but I think probably in most relationships, you just don't let people get that close. You don't let yourself feel super tied to somebody, even if you've taken the steps, to become married. There's a sense of there being kind of, a wall there. You cannot commit to somebody fully, heart and soul, while you carry these old feelings with you. And that's not to say that you can't love more than one person. Of course you can. But because it felt like such a loss for you, I think that it has been difficult to allow yourself to fully enjoy the love and life you have cultivated. It's unresolved, okay? Let's see. We have a person holding a cup, a chalice that they're drinking from, and behind them we have a butterfly. Okay, so my belief here with this cup, with this chalice, drinking from it, the butterfly, I feel that this is something that you have to kind of face. You indulge those emotions, swim in them, drink them, activate them. Don't let them destroy your life, okay? I'm not saying like, go mend this old relationship, don't run off with this person. In my experience of just not even romantic, but just going back and trying to find people from your past, old friends and things, it's very rarely does it live up to your memory. So, be wary of that. But, I think just really allowing yourself to go through the process of finding some kind of closure. Maybe that means going and exploring a conversation or seeing where this person's at, whatever it is, just, or therapy, right? Counseling. If you are in a relationship now, maybe some kind of marriage or couples counseling might be helpful. But I think that this is also really importantly an individual process. And I think that often, really, my true belief about this is that this is almost never about the actual relationship that came to an end. This is so much more about our interior relationship with the beloved. Okay. And I think that that has so much to do with getting into a place where we can explore a divine love with, the universe, the cosmos, God, goddess, whatever that looks like to you, however you relate to that greater thing. This kind of feeling of, a void or an emptiness where love should be, where there is kind of an unconditional, unshakable, connection, a union. This is where the steps towards interior work begins, right? Self-work, interior work, courtship with self, with the divine. Okay. If you're interested in this topic, I think that, of course, and I mentioned her on here a few times in my readings, is Teresa of Avila. But any saint really, has profound musings on, and you don't have to be Christian or Catholic or theistic in any way, but it is just merely the concept of finding a relationship with something greater than yourself. Okay. And what's interesting about these saints is that they have very romantic affairs with the divine. Sometimes it almost reads like a romance novel. The, awe and ecstasy and agape. These are enthralling emotions and sensations, impressions, and experiences. So this is a good place to start. But any of the love traditions, the Sufis, Jainism, the different, there's so many, Gnostic. Usually they are more esoteric takes on sub-religions within the greater religion. So, just looking up merely the term agape, really, that will lead you down quite a rabbit hole. But I think that, anyways, from my limited knowledge of, kind of psychotherapy mixed with mysticism, there is really this kind of, these are relationships that we desire with archetypes, with, thought forms, divine beings, right? Something that it's hard for any human person to fulfill. And so this is why so often we find such fault in our romantic, domestic relationships and marriages, is because what we're really yearning for, is this kind of divine relationship. Now, Freud would say it's a relationship with our parents, our loved ones, family members, children, and so on. But, that could be true as well. But I think, often it is something so deep and, expansive. The only thing that could truly fill some of the loneliness and isolation that comes along with the human experience, this, brilliant consciousness, is truly something unknown and mysterious. And, some people might say, well, that's ridiculous, but I believe it to be, pretty, not true, but likely possible. Especially if you are a romantic like myself. I find great joy in my relationships with my interior beloved and personal pantheon, and the process of getting to know and experience these aspects of self or entities, however you like to look at it. So let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, it looks like we have a fire kind of going right there. And this one I thought was interesting. It kind of reminds me of Dante going down into like all of the artwork of the descent into the different rings of hell, and kind of standing on the cliff there and gazing over, and I think that this is interesting in this situation here as we're reading this, is that, or as I'm doing this reading, as we were talking about this, this is kind of like getting a glimpse into when we have these feelings, these longings, desires, kind of unrequited things, or unrealized loves, or loves that just couldn't get worked out the right way. The square, trying to be going into the circle and it just won't fit. When we kind of go back and lament these things or kind of contemplate them, they visit us as, almost intrusive thoughts sometimes, transient feelings. It is a glimpse into a personal hell to some degree, that pain, right? But here's the thing, is that we can make choices to resolve these issues, to understand these issues, to make use of these issues, these feelings, these impressions. And so hopefully we choose to do so and not just kind of meander through them constantly, and with this blaze here, I feel that really there will come through this work such a profound sense of, spiritual fire, the kind of the heart of flame. These pains are there to help us know that we need to do the work, right? We need to pluck that thorn from our, oops, TT, no, no. All right, and so here comes another kitty cat. To pluck that thorn from our, most interior heart and sacred space, right? And so by doing that work, we set ourselves ablaze, metaphorically, of course. And so we also have this beautiful little mermaid here, and it looks like almost about to kiss a person standing here. And, to me, that says, well, the mermaid in this context, in my mind, is related to a being who can traverse that vast unconscious ocean. Okay, pull out the symbols, the signs, the omens, the, really kind of bring forth those collective unconscious motifs and themes and such. And so I think through this exploration, there is kind of a merging of that earthen self, so the waking self, the conscious self, with that more night side swimmer of the depths, right? So I think that this is a beautiful union. I think that there is no love aside from maybe the love you have for your children. There's no love that can compare to the love of that chemical marriage, that celestial bride and bridegroom, that, union with the interior beloved, the merging of the self with the anima or animus. Okay, and this is, of course, not easy work, but once we are aware of it, it's important to at least allot some of your energy, I think. These messages are brought to us kind of the universe smiling, giving us a little, sprinkle of the fairy dust, and kind of, nudging us to move forward in some of these passageways so that maybe we can, don't you dare, so that maybe these kitty cats, so that maybe we can live a life that is more these cats, they're coming for me. The other thing, and I had mentioned why Pudgy's not allowed up here, but the other thing is TT just loves to knock this stuff over. So I'll post some pictures of these little hellions, but I'm trying to keep them off the table. So anyways, these are all actions to kind of get our lives into a place where we are feeling more whole and holistic, wholly whole, as I like to say, and here we have the candle of illumination, and we have a ladder of 4. And so I think in these next few weeks, this next month, this will be something that maybe presents itself. I think this will be kind of a tone of your life. For some reason, there's a shift, a disruption to the normal, mood that you are in, or your focus. And I think for, something will come up that has you thinking about this old thing, this old relationship. Maybe it's the season, I don't know. But I think that it's important to make the best of it. It is, and so you shall, Gemini, and so you shall. All right. So I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you, to do these readings for you, to spend this time with you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, which is helping grow the channel one person at a time. And I thank you for helping in that endeavor. And like I told you, it's my last reading. My brain is already ready to get in bed here. But if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Before the next Gemini comes out in about 7 days, give or take a day or two. You can watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, Venus, and some cross-watching if you are interested in doing that. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I read them all. Some of them are very touching. Some of them are very kind. Some are so generous with your personal experiences, and all of them really make me feel like I'm getting to know some of you, and that is such a lovely gift, truly. So I thank you, and we will talk again very soon.